Good afternoon, Belize. It's midday and you're tuned into the news at noon, where we bring you the latest updates from around the country. I'm Isani Cayetano, and here's what's making headlines today. From deal to danger, Belizean car importers dodge road pirates on perilous journey through Mexico. Health leaders unite to strengthen Belize's medical information systems. Hanging by a thread, HIV treatment in Belize at risk amid financial fallout. And elder abuse in Belize, a hidden crisis behind closed doors. These stories are coming up in just 1 minute.
In the face of tragedy, you depend on accurate and timely information. In times of triumph, you seek to be inspired. You demand transparency and accountability. Your desire is to know and to understand, to be heard and seen. I take pride in telling stories that safeguard communities. Your dedication and success live on through these reports. Getting to the truth is my duty. My unwavering commitment is to tell the stories that matter the most to you. I am News 5.
Welcome back. What used to be a routine process of importing cars from the U.S. has now become a high-stakes journey through danger zones. One local dealer who spoke with us under strict anonymity says the threat begins in U.S. territory, but it's once they hit Mexico that things really escalate. He describes it as a constant game of cat and mouse, dodging what he calls road pirates, from organized cartels to opportunistic thieves. For his safety, we've concealed his identity, but his story paints a chilling picture of what is now taking place to bring vehicles home. Here's what he told us.
I could tell you it's very high. I mean, it's very high. I want to go out on a limb and to say that we're targeted from even in America. Actually, from the time you pick up the cars from wherever, majority of the vehicles that are brought into the country are bought on auction. And from the time you pick that up, it's you've been targeted from the American police. I mean, yes, there are laws, and yes, I want to go out on a limb and say that we take chances in bringing these cars down. So we have to. It's like a hide and seek. Then let's say from Houston to border, and then again when you jump across the border, that's where the better part of the action happen. I mean, and it doesn't matter if it's morning, noon, or night. There is the risk that's involved in getting from point A to point B, point A, which is the Los Indios commercial border, to Corozal or Corozal border, I mean, it's really a cat and mouse game. And I can share with you an experience that just happened on Monday. Actually, we were coming in a convoy. I think it's like about 5, 6 of us. And the guy right in front of me, I mean, we were going nice speed, 60, 70. And these, I want to go and say road pirates. I mean, they're right there waiting for us, man. From the time we left the border, we're targeted.
When it comes to improving a nation's health, one thing is absolutely essential: data. The more accurate and detailed information, the better we can target services, make smart investments, and ultimately save lives. That's why the Ministry of Health and Wellness is taking a big step forward this week. For the next 2 days, health sector stakeholders from across the country are gathering at the Biltmore to tackle a critical challenge: how to strengthen Belize's health data collection systems. It's all about building a smarter, more responsive healthcare system, and leading that charge is Dr. Andre Chell, Director of Policy Analysis at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. He explains what's at stake and what success could look like.
So this is Belize's first public health datathon. We are doing this in partnership with the Pan American Health Organization, World Health Organization Country Office, along with their colleagues at Washington, D.C. We are bringing different institutions here in Belize to really, over the next 2 days, have exercise to promote data sharing, to see the different databases that each institution is using and really see where the data is coming from, right? We want to do a mapping really to see where all this health data is coming and how we as a ministry then can use this data to inform our policies and actions.
How does this help to improve the quality of service that Belizeans receive?
So the main objective of this datathon is actually to put the Ministry of Health as the steward of health data governance, right? So we are trying to look now at digital health transformation. We're all moving towards that digital era of, modernizing our health system. So we as a ministry now, we have that mandate to actually ensure that whatever data we receive meets the quality of what we need, and that data in turn then will inform our policies, our actions, which then translate to the better health outcomes that we want to give to the entire Belizean population.
We're turning our attention now to a growing crisis that could roll back decades of hard-won progress in the fight against HIV and AIDS. Across the Caribbean, including right here in Belize, vital services are hanging by a thread. Why? Because earlier this year, the U.S. government made significant funding cuts, and the ripple effects are being felt far and wide. A new survey by the United Nations Program on HIV/AIDS and the Pan-Caribbean Partnership reveals a troubling reality. 80% of HIV service organizations in the region are now facing serious financial instability. And here in Belize, where over 3,700 people are living with HIV, the stakes couldn't be higher. We sat down with Dolores Valderramos Garcia, chair of the National AIDS Commission, who shared just how deeply Belize relies on U.S. funding and what's being done to keep critical care going. Her message? Without immediate action, the future of HIV treatment in the region is in jeopardy.
The National AIDS Commission, along with the Ministry of Health, we have put up a cabinet paper. And basically what we're saying in that paper is we're asking for all hands to come back on deck. Because we have still a serious situation on our hands, and we need everybody to cooperate. Asking, of course, for the cooperation of key ministries, education, human development, and especially the Ministry of Health, and then, of course, our community service organizations and NGOs. There's a lot to share, but let me say this. The commitment is now from Cabinet that we will see a new day in the reaction, especially from the Ministry of Health, because there was initially a reluctance on their part to fully sanction and approve of the use of self-testing HIV kits, right? So we have had a complete change in policy there, so that the Ministry of Health now is fully on board with the National AIDS Commission in utilizing what we call differentiated service models. And why do I call it differentiated service models? Because not everybody might want to go to the clinic.
As Belize's population continues to age, a quiet crisis is unfolding, one that often goes unseen, unheard, and unreported. Elder abuse is a growing concern, and the numbers are alarming. The National Council on Aging reports that 1 in 6 older adults in Belize is likely to experience some form of abuse, whether it's physical, emotional, psychological, sexual, or even financial. What's even more troubling, most of this abuse happens behind closed doors, often at the hands of those closest to them, family members or caregivers. In tight-knit communities where speaking out can feel impossible, many elders suffer in silence, and with no comprehensive national data to track these cases, it's hard to know just how deep the problem runs or how best to respond. We're taking a closer look at why raising awareness is not just important, it's urgent.
So one of the things that we do see is that as we become older, we become almost invisible. We stop interacting as much with the community. People stop asking us what are the things that we need. So by educating older persons about their rights and the different types of abuse, we strengthen their voice. By having organizations out here like HelpAge, we give them a network to connect to so that there's more visibility. So it's extremely important for all of us as we're aging that we are able to engage, remain a part of the community. That's why the pop-ups are in a public space. So it's to capture you, bring you out, and let you see what is in place for you. I just like to encourage all our viewers to be mindful of the older persons in their life, take us interest, check up, and be aware of some of the challenges that older persons face.
That's a wrap for the news at noon. But don't worry, there's plenty more coming your way at 6 p.m. We'll dive deeper into these stories and more. In the meantime, visit greaterbelize.com and follow us on Facebook for real-time updates. And don't miss Open Your Eyes tomorrow morning for fresh takes on today's headlines. Thanks for tuning in, Belize. Stay informed, stay inspired, and have a fantastic afternoon.